Hi, this is Lydia, and this is my cast video.
For cast fundraiser, I did bake sale, and I formed a 5-person team with my friends, and we researched for foods junior years would love, like years 6 to 8, and we came up with 2 recipes. First one would be Rice Krispies, and the second one would be Brookies. And we did have to do a lot of communication and planning in terms of the logistics behind creating the baked goods. For example, the recipe, is it okay, does it taste good, and who would be staying behind to bake the goods, and who would be on duty to sell the goods. We did have miscommunication throughout this process because our schedules didn't really align, and I thought, my friend would stay behind, but in fact, she did not. But we fixed that problem up pretty quickly. Yeah, we just we were just very flexible with our timeline and tried to help when we can. And when selling the baked goods, we learned that upselling is a very important skill because you're trying to make your goods seem very interesting to the public, and sometimes because it's been sitting there for quite a while since it's baked at different timelines and it might not be the most fresh while selling it, trying to upsell to different customers and make your product seem appealing is very important. We also learned different negotiation skills, for example, making up sales on the spot to sell food and make it seem very enticing to do so. For example, sales like buy one get one free, or buy 3 and get 2 free. These are just some of the examples. Now for the final thing, we used $8,000 for raw ingredients, and our total revenue was 3,100 tickets. As each ticket cost $10, we had a grand total of 23,000 as our profit. I would say I personally learned loads about initiating and planning experiences. Being very decisive about this matter is actually very vital to having an efficient and smooth planning process. I would say I also learned different soft skills, for example, like I mentioned, negotiation skills, to communicate with customers and how to treat customers and handle a lot of things many different times. And yeah, it's very fun but also very hectic. Now for cast trip, I went to Malaysia. Prior to the trip, I was excited but I was nervous because we had a caving experience throughout this trip, which is the bottom left picture there. And I'm slightly afraid of the dark, and I'm also slightly claustrophobic, so I didn't really know how that experience would go out for me, because from the teacher said there would be a moment where we would all turn off our headlights and all the lights that we have, to experience a moment in the dark in the caves. And prior to starting the trip, I was quite nervous about this part. And I'm also quite messy, and I tend to lose my items. And so I was really scared I was going to lose something like my passport or something that's important. And since it's my first trip overseas without my parents, I was notably nervous about this part. And we also planned an ugly exchange shirt between me and my friends, and that was quite fun. Now, during the trip, I was very surprised to see that everyone got along very well. Even though we are very different, everyone got along very well, and we had a lot of fun together. We played a lot of mini games amongst ourselves, and we also had great teamwork. And so the planting mangroves part was very easy, to be honest, because of our teamwork. We completed the mangrove planting within half an hour, which is very, very quick and very efficient. It was genuinely a very fun and interesting experience in my point of view. We got to experience so much different stuff, and I got to learn that Malaysians really, really, really care about their environment, they have a lot of passion for what they're doing. And, I learned a lot about, for example, the importance of mangroves. I got to be exposed. I was exposed to the Malaysian culture a lot, and we also did beach cleanups. We also learned to kayak. Those were really, really fun experiences that I think are really valuable. After the trip, I would say I mostly gained soft skills. For example, to have high adaptability to environments such as the bottom center picture, which was a picture of caving. Now, the caving experience really took me by surprise because I didn't really expect it would be quite like that. It's actually very interesting, and it's a good surprise, I would say. And I learned to take care of myself. I did not lose any items, and to plan ahead, for example, would I need to wash these items? Would I need to use them tomorrow, like clothes? And I would say I definitely became more mature and growed up after the trip. And it's very fun. It's very fun. I overcame my worries of caving, and it's a very fun and fruitful experience. Now, for my CAS experiences, I've completed 2 activities and 2 services. For activity 1 is still sort of ongoing. It's almost finished. It's where I play pickleball with Mr. Alarn and 2 of my other classmates. So far, I think we did 5 sessions that stretched over 2 months. We did drills, we did games, and we also learned different pickleball skills like dinking and volley. Yeah, so those are new skills for me as I've never played pickleball before. And another skill I'd say I learned is performance reset, like in the middle of a game, how to reset your performance if you're feeling quite behind and you really want to catch up and you're really sort of frustrated. That's a new skill that I would say I've learned because pickleball is quite a short game, so to reset yourself is really important. And it's also very fun and challenging to play games as pairs. To cooperate and work with one another is interesting, very, very fun and interesting. Now, for the second activity, I did a gym program where I rode my bike in the gym for 3 months, and I aimed for 12 30-minute sessions throughout the 3 months. I aim to increase resistivity on the bike from 7 to 10, and to increase the distance covered from 9 kilometers to 12 kilometers. And all of this is to improve my cardiovascular health. And I can say it's actually quite challenging because, as you can see in the data from the right, to increase your resistance while increasing your distance, it's actually very difficult, because it's all done within the span of a few days. To be consistent and to sort of drop your schoolwork to consistently go to the gym and just watch those numbers go up and pedal is actually extremely tiring. And this definitely required heavy discipline and perseverance, because when your body is not it's hard for your body to adapt to new distances and new resistances every few days. But I'd say my health definitely improved, and so really loved this challenge as well. Now for service, I did ceramics club. It's Friday club at school where we teach basic skills such as wedging, kneading, rolling a slab, trimming, etc. And we do projects from the skills that we've made: plates, bowls, chopstick holders, etc. This definitely tested leadership, communication, and collaboration skills. A lot of skills. Originally, I was sort of awkward. I really wasn't confident in teaching a class, and I would sort of be quiet and stick around. But eventually, at the end of term 1, I would say I gained a lot of confidence, and I became very comfortable with speaking in front of the entire class and teaching everyone. And so, it's a very fruitful experience, and definitely lots of improvisation needed due to unexpected events. For example, if the products can't make it to the kiln, then we cannot paint it, and so we will have to do a different project then. It's also very fun, rewarding to see students being able to implement the skills that we have taught as club leaders. Very, very fun. Now, service 2 is teaching English. I taught English at a church for free. I was a teacher's assistant every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Mostly DSE Year 6 students, 3 of them. We taught them vocabulary, speaking, reading, etc. Basically helping them to mostly improve their exam skills, as well as encouraging them to speak out loud and practice their pronunciation. It's a very interesting challenge because I could definitely see that the students had quite a low self-esteem and were very anxious. I think they were afraid that I would be very judgmental of how they would speak. So I noted to myself that it's actually very important to be kind and empathetic to these students, but also give constructive criticism to them so they can actually improve. And I'd say a skill that I sort of learned and adapted across the term was how to translate vocabulary, as in to translate words from English to Chinese and give them easier, perhaps like different pronunciations of word, like same but different pronunciations of the word, so they can understand and visualize and be able to know how the word is pronounced. And mostly I think the students said they struggled with listening, so we focused on that instead to help them increase their test score and improve their test score. And speaking, in terms of speaking, they I guess they improved a bit. It was actually evident that they improved, especially one student. She definitely practiced after our lessons because I could see that her pronunciation had improved and she was more quick to pronounce the words and more confident, I would say, in a way. So this is the end of my CAS video. Thank you for listening.